Okay, you're welcome back, and now we are looking at the return of MEND. Recently, I think it's just a few weeks ago that we had the court in South Africa give a decision on the issue of Henry Oka, who is said to be a leader of MEND. And MEND did say that they are very clear on the issue of that, and they did make a press statement saying that there's going to be serious war with government in Nigeria and of course with the South African government and South African people. That was the threat that was said to have been a statement from MEND, that they're back in the creek and there might be more problems in Nigeria. But this
bad news indeed, if you ask me.
Bad news indeed. Quite worrying one as well. That issue is there, plus the fact that MEND is stating very, very clearly that they're not happy with the decision of the federal government of Nigeria to give amnesty or to grant amnesty to Boko Haram, because they feel amnesty to Boko Haram is just, it shouldn't even be on the table. That's the thought and opinion of MEND as we understand it. But to discuss the return of MEND, we've got in the house a number of people here. It's going to be a very interesting one, I reckon. So I will start with the technical assistant on reintegration to the chairman of the Presidential Amnesty Committee, and that's Mr. Lawrence Pepple. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise this morning.
Thank you very much.
And then sitting next to him is Ambassador Soboma Jackrich, who is also known, a.k.a. Egberi Papa. Good morning and welcome.
You're welcome, my brother.
I understand you're an ex-MEND general. That's right.
You're welcome.
Okay. That's just it. Okay, I'm welcome. Thank you. Well, on the other side, we have, I'll start with Reverend Austin Norum, who is the Southwest Secretary of the CNPP.
Thank you very much. Nice being here.
Next to him is our own in-house advisor on MEND issues and the South-South person, Executive Secretary, National Summit Group, Mr. Tony Uranta.
Good morning.
Okay, now let us start with, where do we start in the midst of this? Okay, I think I will start with Ambassador Soboma Jackrich. Now, is it true that the MEND is back and they're back with a vengeance and they're unhappy about a number of things? My assumption will be that the government has taken care of MEND and they paid a lot of money to train members of MEND and all the people in the creek and in the South-South to look after them well enough for them to not come back in the way that the MEND has come back.
Well, if you ask me, I would say MEND, formerly MEND was existing. And like you said, the federal government has been able to manage the crisis by bringing amnesty. The late President Yar'Adua has proclaimed amnesty, and then we all came out en masse to embrace it. Today we are talking about another MEND. I don't think there is any other MEND, because I know too well that back in the days I happened to be one of the major leaders in the struggle that also came out to embrace peace alongside other leaders like Chompolo, Ateke, and the rest of them. If today there is another threat by MEND, as far as I am concerned, the last time MEND spoke was the time of the 1st October blast. And you know too well that we have a spokesperson at that time who is called Bomojomo. And hence, Bomojomo is not talking. I don't think there is any other MEND. Besides, even the Oka
Are you implying that the statement, the press release that was sent out is not from MEND? Because that press statement made it clear that Oka is one of the leaders of MEND. his incarceration or sentence, where he is expected to spend years in prison in South Africa, is not acceptable, and it was fixed by people that didn't actually allow the rule of law. Is that not the position of MEND?
Well, actually, anybody can come up to say anything they want. And what are we talking about when even the OCA has stated clear that it is not in support of any form of hostility or violence in the region again?
Okay, let's start with this. Let's start with this. The October 1 bomb blast, was it organized by MEND? Because some people have attributed that to MEND, that MEND has laid claim to the fact that they engineered that.
Well, like I said, we all came out, though we are stakeholders from various communities, from various states of the Niger Delta. And then we all came out en masse to embrace peace. And if there is any other people that have gone out to do what they want to do, nobody should say it is MEND.
So the MEND that you supported and you were part of was not part of that October bomb blast?
No. And that is why we all came out to disassociate ourselves from that such despicable...
Okay, let me swing to Mr. Uranta on this side. Mr. Uranta, you are on record as saying that there is no more MEND.
Yes.
So what is your reaction to this email, this press release that has gone out ostensibly from MEND?
I'll take it from where Solomon ended. MEND was an amalgam of stakeholders and agitators and some intellectual activists who were looking for social justice in